This is a severe weather alert from the News Channel 15 Live Doppler 15 Weather Center.
Hello, Greg Shoup from the Live Doppler 15 Weather Center. We've been tracking these storms all morning long, and boy, look at the acceleration on these particular storms as we are seeing them now across Van Wert and Paulding and Defiance County, and all of them are kind of bowing out here as we see very, very strong winds, and they have accelerated a lot around Paulding County, Van Wert County right now towards Salina. Now, here are the latest watches and warnings for the area as we do look for a new tornado warning, the old one expiring across the eastern part of Fort Wayne, of course. But we are looking at a new one right around Defiance here towards about 11:30, and then it is headed towards Henry and, of course, Allen County, Ohio, towards the Lima area. That will be out of our coverage area here. We're also seeing one across Putnam County, which is starting to get out of our area as well in Ohio. But I just wanted to show you the rapid movement of some of these thunderstorms across the area as we continue to watch this entire line from Defiance to Van Wert all the way to Wapakoneta here. We are looking at these storms which are moving extremely quickly at about 70 miles per hour, just moving outside of Scott Grover Hill, West Cell, and just into the eastern side now of Van Wert. They have passed through the city of Van Wert, and we are looking at some couplets here. Jonathan Condor, our new chief meteorologist, drawing some of these in here just towards the southwest of Van Wert County. This is moving towards the Convoy, Ohio area in the eastern side of Van Wert County, and we'll give you a little bit of a storm track here, and that whole wedge of activity as it heads towards Ottoville and Delphus, Ohio as well. And once again, these storms are moving at an accelerated pace at about 70 miles per hour. So we're doing all we can to keep up with these storms just outside of the Rockford, Ohio and Wilshire, Ohio area as well. And as they move into Fort Jennings, Glandorf, and Ottawa, just outside of our coverage area. So that's good news for the folks in the eastern part of Van Wert County as well as downtown. This is starting to move away from you right now. We're seeing pretty strong area of energy right around Paulding, Ohio as well, and around Melrose and Cecil. We are seeing a couplet here, an area of velocity and energy here that is indicating a possible eddy or a tornado rotation here right around Defiance, Florida, and Holgate, and that is going to head towards the city of Defiance, just headed outside of Paulding right now. We've also been keeping track of some of the reports out here. Jonathan, are you ready to talk about some of these reports?
Yeah, thank you. And we've been tracking this severe weather situation all morning long. What we had here is a squall line of storms that moved on in and they accelerated. And within the squall line, we had little tornadoes and probably some what we call microbursts, so some very strong winds. And we can go ahead and take a look at the Doppler radar here. We can fire up live Doppler 15 Fury, and again, take a look at some of these storms. And we've had some storm reports, some wind reports up to about 75 miles an hour in some locations across near southwest Grabill and Allen County. Law enforcement reporting a barn destroyed, propane tanks, those big tanks lifted off their foundations. And a barn was destroyed also in southwestern Grabill. That's in Allen County, and that's reported by law enforcement. And we're getting some reports here that law enforcement also reporting maybe some possible embedded tornadoes throughout the line. And the good news here with this storm system is that it's really moving out of the Allen County area. And this is just one wave of storms. This is it. It's out of here. And as the storms move through, we're not likely to see a secondary round of severe weather. So this is about it, but we're still tracking again. A couple little areas here near Van Wert. That storm right there kind of moving out of our area, but the strongest part of the storm right there just to the east of Van Wert, and that's moving, man, they're moving fast, moving about 70 miles an hour. But down the line here, Defiance, you're going to have a pretty strong area of wind coming in here, probably some winds gusting up to about 70 miles an hour. We've been kind of monitoring the velocity, which is another way we use the radar. And there is a couplet right here, right to the east of Paulding and coming into Junction. So folks, if you live in Junction right now, you need to get away from your windows, go to your safe shelter. A tornado warning, whether it's radar indicated or whether it's on the ground, you need to take your tornado precautions. Get inside, maybe a bathroom with no windows, and that's what you need to do, because the storm is probably going to be producing, whether it's a tornadic wind or a straight line wind, about 70 miles an hour. So our viewers in Junction, what I want you to do, go ahead, turn your TV really loud, and so you can still hear us, but get in your safe shelter. That's what you're going to want to do, because this line of storms does have a history producing winds up to about 75 miles an hour. If you are in the line of the storms, you live in a trailer park, you're going to want to get to a shelter because these winds will easily roll trailers. So again, very strong line of storms, and we'll be tracking it as it continues to move through Williams County and Defiance County. But again, the good news, we're not likely to see a secondary line of severe weather. Greg, why don't we have you go ahead and talk about the watches and warnings here.
Yeah, and we are seeing those expire very, very quickly, but we still have a lot of those active until about 11:30. Jonathan showed you the latest on some of these. We still have across Defiance County some activity, though, until 11:30 this morning. Paulding at about 11:30 as well. Van Wert, you saw it across the eastern part of Van Wert County until about 11:30 this morning, and just outside of Mercer now, around the city of Salina, that severe thunderstorm warning and tornado warning expiring at about 11:30. But there also is around the Mercer County area and Auglaize, we do see a severe thunderstorm warning down there until about 12:15. You can see some of those tornado warnings have been lifted across the area. Most of them are over the border of Indiana and into Ohio right now, and they're moving at an accelerated pace right towards Lima, Ohio, and it looks like towards the eastern side of Van Wert, and you can see that whole accelerated line. We're not seeing a tornado there, but we are seeing half-inch hail. Look at that speed, though, 76 miles an hour, 68 miles per hour, this particular storm just outside of Ottoville. So that's what we're talking about as far as the speed and the possibility of some rotation of some of these. We are seeing hail reports. Look at this. This is radar indicated hail reports, almost 3-inch hail on the edge of this, just outside of DuPont, which is outside of just starting to move outside of Paulding County, and just to the eastern side of Van Wert County, we're seeing almost 2-inch hail there, as well as around the Scott area. So this is a huge thunderstorm complex. It moved very, very quickly. Damage we expect is going to be very widespread. Just wanted to remind you too that if you have some damage, send your photos, if you got it on your cell phone or maybe your digital camera, to photos@wane.com. If you've got an iPhone or an Android phone, the function is right on the News Channel 15 app if you've got that, and you can just do a My Submission for that. We're just starting to see these move out of most of the area, and they are moving outside of our viewing area for outside of Grover Hill and towards the Lima area as well. New Batavia and Miller City and Glandorf, Ohio, just starting to move towards the east. So we have a little bit of good news for you in the Paulding and Van Wert area, that it is starting to exit the area, but we're still seeing some strong cells right around the eastern side of Van Wert County, just headed towards Spencerville. There's Salina down there. We are seeing a severe thunderstorm warning for you folks as well. Even with these severe thunderstorm warnings, and Jonathan went over that, you still want to stay inside, stay away from windows. If you do have a basement, turn the TV up really loud. If you have a basement TV, even better, and stay in the interior part of that basement or that first floor story. And of course, if you're in a mobile home, you don't want to stay in that, as those could be severely damaged in this situation. But we do have good news across most of the area, as most of these thunderstorms have accelerated and are moving outside of our viewing area very, very quickly, as we're still seeing half-inch hail. But still, that speed, that's just amazing. That speed's faster than you drive your car down the interstate at 60 to 69 to 76 miles per hour, and all of that causing the wind. Now, there is a high wind warning out for the rest of today. We're not out of the area for that. We could still see some wind gusts of up to 50 miles per hour, but this was the most dangerous part of those wind gusts for us, and that's the reason that high wind warning was issued, because of the interaction with some of those thunderstorms throughout the area early this morning. Well, we'll keep you up to date with the latest, and of course, we will be on again at noon. We'll try to talk about some more of those damage reports across the area and give you the latest, as we're still seeing areas of velocity around Defiance and Paulding County. We'll leave right now, but we'll keep you up to date. We'll keep tracking these storms, and right now we're looking towards the damage reports across our area, and we'll give you the latest coming up at noon. You want to tune in then for all of that.
This has been a severe weather alert from the News Channel 15 Live Doppler 15 Weather Center. We now return you to regularly scheduled programming.
Yes!